I want to talk about what to do when you get home from a show. Because sometimes, especially when you're new, it's a little bit overwhelming to come home. You've got all these papers, and what do you do and how do you keep track of it, right? Okay, so let's start back at the show. When I'm at the show, I have this little clipboard. It's just a tiny one. I got it, I don't know, probably Walmart. And when people start coming up with me with their orders, I clip them all to this clipboard. So that way they're all in one place at the end of the night. And then when I go home and I pack up all my jewelry, I just drop this clipboard in my purse. And this is really the only thing I need. So they're not in order. The surveys are kind of mixed in with everything. The checks are clipped at the top. But at the end of the night, I know it's all in one place. And what I do too, actually, I'll take this even back a step before. So I put my calendar on my clipboard. So when I go into a show, I have my calendar, and of course I've highlighted the days in pink that I want to take shows. So I have it on the clipboard, and then everybody has their order forms still, right? Because nobody's turned them in yet. So then when I collect the surveys, because remember I bought those for Diva Dollars, I will stick them under my calendar like this, kind of sideways. And then as someone comes up, let's say Marta comes up with her order, as I start writing her order, I look through here and I find her survey and I put it behind. Because that way I'm able to look at the survey, see what she said about the show, about the business, about my Sparkle Alert, and I can talk to her about that. And then when I'm done, I clip it on here. So it's kind of all tucked inside my calendar. Because if she'd wanted to do a show, then I would just lift this up and talk to her about dates. So at the end of the night, ideally, I have everybody's order form with a survey. Now, of course, if somebody came and didn't purchase, their surveys are still going to be stuck here. But at least I know that I've got everybody that I can. So I come home, and all of them are like this, tucked in my purse. And then I sit down, and I'm going to say this part is a little labor intensive, but it is totally worth it. So the first thing I do is I go through all my order forms and I put all of their contacts, all of these contacts into my contacts on my computer or on my phone. I do everything from my computer, but you might do stuff from your phone. And so I put everybody in. I have a group called 2019 customers, and I put all of them in that group. And I put in their name underneath where it says company. I put whose show they booked from, and then I give them all kinds of emojis. And the emojis are so I can remember what applies to them, and I can search for them. So for example, and you can make up your own emojis, but I do, red heart if they're a hostess, a blue diamond if they were interested in the business, or if I gave them some information to take home, a little arm sign if they joined the gym, a flower if they're part of my Sparkle text alert. So it's up to you. I mean, you can use my emojis, but you've just got to make sure you can remember what yours are. So I put everybody in as a contact. That's the first thing. Second thing I do is I go through here and I make sure I pick up everybody who wanted to be on my Sparkle text alert that checked yes, because I use a texting service. So I'm going to add those people to my texting service so that they will get the weekly text. Then, and this isn't always in the same order, but and like I said, it's a little time consuming, but it is so worth it in the end to have all this information. So then what I do is I add their emails to MailChimp. I know that's crazy too, because I send out a weekly text to my VIP customers who said add me, and then I send a weekly email to all of my customers, and they can unsubscribe, and plenty of them do, but so for example, I send about 160 texts a week, and in my email group, I have over 600. So, my open rate's like 20%. So a lot of them aren't even looking at it, but I just leave them in there until they decide to unsubscribe. Then I will go on Premier's website and I will start entering the orders. And what you have to have the event set up first, and then you enter the order, apply it to the event, and I start doing these. Now, what I'm looking for is at the end that these numbers match. So on screen, that number matches this number. I know I've got everything in correctly. I move over to the next one. Like I noticed this morning, I put someone's order in and I showed her that if she got the gym, it was going to be 135, and if she didn't get the gym, it was going to be 124. Well, she decided not to sign up for the gym, but I accidentally charged her as if she did. So by matching up these numbers is when I realized, oh my gosh, I overcharged her, and I immediately texted her and said, I'm so sorry, I'll send you a refund for the $11. So that's the way I do that. Now, the hostess has not figured out her order yet. Oh, let me show you what I do for my hostess. So in my little bag of tricks that I bring to my show, I have these little yellow sticky things. So at the end of the night, before I leave, I go through and I add up box A, right? Because box A is the retail before tax and shipping, and that's what's going to tell me what to base her free jewelry off. So I will write down, maybe I'll write $800 in sales, and then on my phone I'll figure out what 30% is, 240. So this is so just on a post-it. This is not fancy. So I put 240 free, 8 half price, and I give it to her. That's what I give the hostess at the end of the night. So there's no fancy form. There's nothing. It's just a little yellow sticky. She has that so she knows how much she can shop with. Okay, so when I'm done entering everything, then I put them in a folder. And you can either use, oops, now I just dropped them all. Oh my gosh. So you can use either a folder like this, or depending on how you have space, or you can use a binder and use sleeve protectors, but you just want everything all in the same place. So I put all of the receipts and all of the surveys and all of the checks, basically everything that goes with this show, now this is a total mess, into this folder like this. It's got her name at the top. It says Heidi Thompson and the date of her show. And then I leave this in this little thing on my desk right here. So those are my open shows. So I have Heidi's show and Kelly's show because those have not been sent in yet. Now, when I actually send the order in, so when I finalize everything with the hostess, then I will go over to my, let me grab a show that's already been submitted. So this one, for example, once I've submitted the order, I print the event summary. And sometimes I have to reduce the size down to like 60 or 70% because I want it all on one page. So I print this. This is a bad example because normally what I do is I write at the top, sent, and the date. Because there have been a few times where I've had shows and I think, gosh, why isn't that shipped yet? It seems like it's been a long time. And I will look back at my order form and it won't say sent. Like now I'm nervous about her. I'm gonna have to check her. Because if it doesn't say sent at the top, I probably didn't send it. I might have thought I sent it, but I probably didn't send it. And then I staple everything together like this. I think this is not organized because I was on vacation when I actually submitted the show. But I staple it all together, leave everything in this folder, and then I file it. Taking a little tour of my office here. Oh, whoa, sorry, now you're probably getting sick. But in my filing cabinet, that's tricky. I have these folders that are labeled by months. So like this is a January show, I'm gonna file it in the January folder. And then once I submit these shows for February, they will go in the February folder. Or again, you could use a binder and put everything in sleeve protectors. So that's how I keep it organized. Now that event summary sheet that I print 2 copies. So one goes with the order form, I write sent at the top and the date. And the other one I print and it goes in my customer care folder. So I have a customer care folder, and what I do is I look at the second copy, and I will write at the top 2 dates. I look at a calendar and I think, okay, what date is 3 weeks out from her show? That was February 5th. And what date is 2 months out from her show? That would be March 15th. So I put 2 dates and a line. So I have, if you look in the verbiage unit in our units, verbiage of what I send them, but I text them the day after the show, a little thank you for coming. It was great to meet you. Here's my virtual business card. If they booked a show, I always say, can you confirm that you have this on your calendar so I can give the hostess credit? And then 3 weeks after the show, I go through this list. I text them all again. And this is why you want to have them in context on your phone, because then I can look at the list and go, oh, Beverly, and I can type in Beverly and her name comes up. It's a lot easier to text to a name than to a number, because otherwise I'd be like 949, 949, 271, 27, it's just complicated. So it's easier to text to a number. So I text them 3 weeks after the show. And the reason I do that is because one, I want to make sure she got her jewelry, because if she's having that jewelry shipped to the hostess and the hostess has not gotten around to giving it to her yet, or even letting her know that she has it, she's blaming you. You're the one that said it would arrive in 10 to 14 days. And while it's not your fault that the hostess hasn't given it out, you want to let her know if she comes back and says, I haven't even gotten it yet. Oh, well, let me tell you that, Jill got that on February 10th, so check with her. because she should have it. And then I text them 2 months after the show, kind of a last, just want to check in, make sure your jewelry's behaving. Because if she has any problems or manufacturing defects or something broke, I want to take care of that in the first 60 days because one, there's no charge. And two, I want her to know I'm going to help her take care of it. Because when a piece of jewelry breaks, unless they, broke it themselves, they might be sitting there thinking, oh, I'm never going to buy this jewelry again. It's so cheap. It just broke the first time I wore it. Or maybe it came broken. But what if instead she says to her friends, yeah, it broke, but my jewelry stylist, she had a new one to me in like 2 weeks. She checked on me. It's all about maintaining your reputation. So that is what I do when I get home from the show. Is there anything else I'm thinking of? I think that's it. So hopefully that's helpful.